The following content contains discussions about sensitive topics, including sexual assault. We understand that these discussions can be distressing or triggering for some viewers. We advise viewer discretion and encourage anyone who might be affected by these discussions to prioritize their well-being and consider their comfort levels before watching. This content aims to create awareness and foster understanding. However, it's important to seek professional help or support if needed. Remember, you are not alone, and there are resources available to provide assistance.
So, I'm a 19-year-old girl, and my boyfriend is 24. We've been dating for almost 3 months. Both of us are Christians. I made a promise to only have sex after marriage for a few years now, more for my safety than for faith itself. A few weeks ago, I almost had sex with my boyfriend, but even though my body wanted it, I knew I didn't truly want it, so I got out of that situation. What happened is that he freaked out afterward. A few weeks later, we were alone at my house, and he tried to have sex with me, which was not wrong until then. I didn't want to, said no, and I pushed him away, but he didn't accept that. 5 minutes later, he tried again. This repeated itself about 6 times after that. He tried, I said no, and he didn't give up. All in the same situation. I talked to him, said he was disrespecting me, that if I asked him to stop, his obligation was to obey, and he wasn't respecting my body. He cried, apologized, and said it wouldn't happen again. And guess what? It happened again. Yesterday we were at my house, and my mother was here this time. We kissed on the couch, and in less than 2 seconds, I felt his hand on my breast. I pushed away again and told him to stop, but he didn't stop. 2 seconds later, he did it again. This repeated a few more times in less than 10 minutes. What bothered me this time were 2 things. 1, he tried to touch me with my mother sitting next to me because he wasn't just disrespecting me, but also her. 2, even seeing that I didn't want it, he said, "Stop trying to resist." I got angry and cursed at him. He asked to talk, and I agreed. During the conversation, he admitted the mistake and apologized. However, throughout the conversation, he tried to blame me, tried to act like a victim, saying, "It's difficult for me," tried to make me feel guilty for wanting to break up with him, and tried to make me feel sorry for him. He left. I forgave, in quotation marks, gave him an ultimatum, and said that if he wanted to be with me, he couldn't touch me again until I took the initiative. And if this happened again, there wouldn't be a chance for him to look at me again. Honestly, I don't trust him. He has become a toxic boyfriend in this matter. During this time, he has been trying to make me yield out of pity and make me feel guilty for not having sex with him. It has been a huge manipulation on his part, and everyone noticed. I know that, like in every abusive relationship, he will apologize and repeat the same mistake because he doesn't truly regret it. I say this because that's exactly what he has already done, and I'm afraid that next time, he won't stop. But it's very hard to break up with someone whom you believe could have a future, where you fit in most things, out of fear of not finding something better. Am I wrong for wanting to end things with him, or am I foolish for forgiving him?
Hello, Sai here. This history has so many red flags. I don't even know where to start. I just hope she dumped him and that she is safe. In the comments section, she gives more info. Let's see.
He was touching you while you were arguing with him, with your MOM presenting everything.
He groped me under the blanket. I didn't have the courage to say anything with her right there. I pushed his hand away as much as I could, but he didn't stop.
The guy wants to have sex. It's you who's getting in the way. Just end it and let him find other people.
I'm getting in the way. If he wants it so much, why doesn't he go find someone else? I gave him that option from the first time he did this. I said I wouldn't judge. He said he wouldn't replace me for one-night stands, but does this. I'm breaking up because of harassment anyway.
He wants sex, and you're the one causing trouble. Just break up and let him find other people.
Am I causing trouble? If he wants that so badly, why doesn't he find someone else? I gave him that option from the start, said I wouldn't judge, but he claimed he wouldn't trade me for sex yet behaves this way. I'll end it due to harassment.
If you don't want sex, stay single. He doesn't know how to respect women. It's better to be single too.
Dating isn't just about sex. No one's obliged to stay single just because they want to wait until marriage. If sex is important to you, find someone who feels the same. I dated him because initially, he claimed to think like me. Now that I see he doesn't, I'll end it. It's this simple.
You're going through a problem because of this now. Having sex only after marriage.
I'm experiencing CA. Even if I did want it, it wouldn't change anything because there are still days I don't want to, and he'd react the same way.
Whatever he said, it was redacted by the mods.
I'll stick to what I've said. Men aren't wild animals. They're obligated to control themselves. I'm not obliged to yield to foolish men or stay alone forever. I dated him because, in one of our conversations, he also said he'd wait until marriage. It was because he shared my views that I accepted. I wouldn't be with someone who thinks differently from me. He's contradicting what he himself told me.
It scares me how close she was to being fully SA'd. The guy didn't care that her mother was right by their side and kept touching her. But guys, have something in mind.
He cried, apologized, and said it wouldn't happen again. And guess what? It happened again.
When someone apologizes and doesn't change their behavior, they are not apologizing, they are not truly sorry. They are manipulating you. Don't fall for their act. He's saying, don't resist, is so triggering. And of course after that, he tries to gaslight her.
He admitted the mistake and apologized. However, throughout the conversation, he tried to blame me.
This is an abusive relationship, and the time is ticking for the worst to happen. She must get away from him. Let me tell you what Darvo is. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. We don't have a denial example here, since he admits his mistakes and apologizes. But it's a manipulative tactic. The attack is evident. He persists in touching her despite her repeated refusals. Then comes the reverse. He apologizes and shifts blame, making the victim feel guilty and sorry for him. This is textbook manipulation. Darvo is a tactic used to evade accountability by shifting blame, painting the accuser as the wrongdoer. It's often observed in abusive situations or when individuals try to dodge facing consequences for their actions. In this case, the consequence would be a breakup, and it's only a matter of time before this escalates into a more serious issue, potentially leading to domestic violence or worse. And you know what I mean by worst. I'm avoiding the actual word. This time, I don't want your opinion. Actually, this video can't receive comments. I just want you to observe this example and remain vigilant. For your safety, if you see yourself in a similar situation, remove this video from your watch history. When psychological abusers notice that their tricks are not working anymore, they tend to go physical. So, stay vigilant and safe. And when you find the opportunity, use it to your advantage to leave the situation.